Yeah, all right. So we are live and ready. Okay, super glad to have Comfort and Favor on set today. Do confirm if you can hear me. Favor, you can hear me. Comfort, you can hear me. Hi. So yeah, so we are actually streaming on LinkedIn, both LinkedIn as well as on our YouTube platform, right? So we get to see some reactions as the conversation, you know, go on. So I'd just love to do a quick introduction, right? So we met yesterday, and it has actually been a very awesome time with you two ladies, and I know that today's conversation would be mind blowing. I've actually been following both of you for a while, and I would love to know how you were able to get started in tech, especially in an African home, then moving down to what you currently do. There would be I know there would have probably been some classmates at home, always carrying your laptop. Maybe that might not be the case for you. You might probably still want to share that with us. Yeah. So before we dive into the meat of today's session, I'll quickly love to do an introduction into what analytics is all about. And for us at Analytics, we're an edtech firm revolutionizing how Africans perceive tech. Yes, so we're trying to close that gap. We know that there's an entry gap, especially for people of the Black community, especially for people within the African space. And what we try to do is we provide them with these tech opportunities that enable them learn tech jobs. Yeah, with or without any tech experience. Right. So out, and we have um today is this month is actually the Women's Month in terms of March, and we at Analytics we always do this stuff every year, which is what trying to champion women cause by giving out scholarship to 300 women. So in March 2024, we gave scholarship to 300 women, and we have to even extend it to 320 because we needed to get more women into that bracket. And this year we are going to still do the same thing, but now we want to bring in as much men into as much women into the bracket, and we saw that females to men can serve as allies to these men. They can serve as allies, they can serve as advocates, they can serve as mentors, and we are also giving out scholarship to 50 men as well. And it's it's no brainer because according to research by Women in Tech, we have over 75% of the tech roles being occupied by the males. Yeah, so now those 25, the other 25%. So how can we try to level up? Try to increase that, increase, let's say, participation of women in tech. We now saw that okay, there's a need for males and men to also serve as advocates and mentors. To get more women into the industry. Yeah, and that's why we are here today, and and lots more. To have conversations surrounding that. So I would love, I will start with Comfort. Comfort is already smiling. So I'll start with you. I would love you to do a quick introduction about yourself, Comfort, and then we move down to Favor. Yeah, you might want to just do an introduction about yourself, Comfort.
All right. Hello, everybody. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. My name is Comfort, and I am currently a senior security engineer with Amazon Web Services. And I have been with the company for over 7 years now. I started as a cloud engineer and switched over to being a cloud security engineer. And aside from that, I'm glad to be here. It's an honor to be here. Thanks for the invitation, Elijah. And I look forward to further conversations. So, yes, thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much. So would you love to do some introduction, Favor? So let's hand it over to you too as
Okay.
well. Let's hear from you.
Oh, my sister spiced up the mood. She's the jovial one. Okay, so Favor, I currently I'm a data scientist as well as an MA ops engineer. So I work with LVGI, also a subsidiary under Alliance insurance company here in the UK. So before now, I started off my career as a software developer, which I did for about 5 years before transitioning into, becoming a data scientist. And from there, I moved to, joining the MA Ops team. And that has been my career progression. So I'm here. I'm happy to be here for those of you who would, have probably have questions, thinking of transitioning, just make sure to get your questions ready and we'll do well to answer them.
All right, fantastic, fantastic background. Thank you very much, Favor. Thank you very much, Comfort. So we'll just dive into it immediately. So would you love to start, Comfort? So I would love to just I would love for you to share your insight into how did you develop your interest, especially within the cybersecurity space. Yeah. So what was that defining moment for you in your career that made you realize that you wanted to just do cybersecurity? There are a lot of other tech niche, like data science, like Favor. So why did you just specifically choose cybersecurity? What was that defining moment for you? You're muted. I don't know. You're muted. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Good.
noted. Thank you for that. So this is how it works, right? We have different use cases, different scenarios. For me, it's very simple, and it might be unique to a couple of individuals, even my sister as well. Uh, my interest, like the defining moment for me was as a child, my curiosity to how things work. There was a use case where I was given an item more like a gift. And as a young adult, as a child, yeah, as a child, like a young teenager, you'd want to play with that gift, right? But for me, I discovered I was much more interested in how that gift worked, what the different components that made up that gift item. And so, as a result of that, what I always end up doing, or what I did, was break that gift to see what was in there, and with the help of my loved ones, put it back. And so that was the defining moment for me as to my interest, being in the tech space. And after I graduated from the Benson Dahosa University with my degree in math and computer science, again with my project, that also helped in streamlining my focus into the cybersecurity field. That's all. Thank you.
Awesome. So it appears that there was no like bass boost. Some persons did this first. They did data engineering. They did data science. It was kind of a smooth entry into cybersecurity. All right. So awesome. Makes sense. Makes sense. So Favor, how was it for you? Did you just stumble into data science, or it was was it that smooth like how Comfort just painted it? Or let's hear from you too.
Okay, so I have a story to this, right? Growing up, I actually wanted to become an accountant. And the reason for that was, when we were young, I had one of my cousin who lives with us. He was an accountant, so I was just so fascinated with the way he dresses, the clean suits, the sparkling tie, the shoes, and everything. So the dress code actually intrigued me. That I said to myself at that moment that growing up, I wanted to become an accountant. And the truth is that from my primary school to secondary school, I took a mix of science and social sciences. So I took commerce, accounting, and a mix of that, right? So, but aside that, personally, I've always loved, computers. I remember my dad got a desktop computer then, and I would see myself operating it. I will press something, and before you know, the desktop goes off. But I always find a way of, solving that issue. So I was always fascinated with, the gadgets. It was something that came naturally to me. Well, aside that, accounting was my focus because my cousin was into it and I was just so interested. But along the line, my sister, she studied maths and computer science. So when she comes back home during the holiday, I, pick up a laptop, I go through a notes, and, I'm just reading through and I'm seeing so many interesting things. I'm seeing, programming with C++, creating website. So I was like, oh, okay, there's something like this. So seeing that, reading her notes, going through her laptop, seeing the projects she's working on, writing code, developing games application. I was like, this is something that I love naturally. I'm a gadget freak actually. If you ask me gadget or clothes, shoe, forget about that, right? Just give me gadgets. That's me. I love anything gadgets. So I was fascinated with that, right? It was something that was more of a passion, all right? So I don't know if my sister know this, but she was actually the reason for my career change, right? So I got into the university. I had to write jam again because the first jam I wrote was, to study accounting in Unilag, right? So I had to take jam again, to study computer science, and she was the reason for that, right? So yeah, I got into university. I studied computer science. After my graduation, during school, I actually wanted to, go into AI because my project then, I remember developed an AI app that could diagnose malaria and typhoid. So
Wow.
AI, yeah, AI was my interest, right? But unfortunately, after graduation, there was no job. There was no job in the AI or data space. The trend was not even there. So I had to move into software development, right? So I did
Wow.
that, yes, the programming, developing applications, it was fine. Then I think around 2018, when the trend started coming up again, and then it was big data, data mining. So I had to, grab that opportunity. It was self-learning. I had to go into self-learning. I had to start reading the theoretical concept, start reading about machine learning, data mining, big data, and all of that. And as at that time, my company, they were having more of a transformative change. So I took more of the training. You understand, and I was able to get a job as I started off as a data analyst, did that for a couple of months before transitioning to becoming a data scientist, then the MA Ops engineer. So it's a stage. So it has been a stage, right? So
So
so that's why
stages
even when they
actually
ask me
what
this question,
from
it's
AI to
always a
software.
mystery, right? So I'll stop there so I don't blab too much.
No, no, that's very, very fantastic. And when you said accounting, anyways, you just so
Yeah,
sad that I'm actually, yeah, so I'm actually your person. We are in the same boat anyway. So the idea was to become a chartered accountant, but here we are
yeah,
doing marketing. Right, we are becoming advocate for tech, but and that's just the fact. It's just simple.
yeah,
Tech is the future. Yeah, so no matter what you do, you just need to incorporate tech into it. Even as accountant, you need to be able to learn. As accountant, you should be able to run data analytics. Yeah,
yeah,
you should be able to make sense of your data. You should be looking forward into, let's say, financial analytics. Yeah, so if you do not know how to make sense of your data, how to visualize them, to be able to give informed decisions to your stakeholder, then you must be joking, especially in this 21st century. Yeah, so that's a very, very fantastic one, from AI to software, from software to data analytics, then to data science. I think I will give you that thumbs up, honestly, because you've actually went through all of the phases in tech. You are the boss on this call right now, people. All right. So let's just move down to the next part of the question. So now I'll start with, I think I'll start with comfort now. Yeah. So now with your decade years of experience, I was actually going through your bio, and you actually have a decade years of experience within the cybersecurity space. And I was like, I was trying to anyway, but that's fine. We'll probably say that during the course of the conversation. Yes. So and it's very fascinating to know. So I wanted to know, with regards to your years of experience, particularly within the security space. Yeah, what will you think inclusivity in the tech workplace is? How important is that, right? And how can we, as an individual, create a welcoming environment for diverse talent? So let's just start. Let's just break the question. Yeah. So, what is the importance? What will you feel is the importance of having to include individuals regardless of gender bias and all those things. What's important within the tech ecosystem? Because I know that a lot of persons just have that mindset. Some mindset that have been built up with some individuals. They just have that, okay, some tech is, especially within cybersecurity space, it's very, very technical. Let's just give it to a guy. So a guy should be able to do that. So what's your idea with regards to inclusivity? Yeah, within the tech ecosystem. Yeah.
So that's a brilliant question. That's brilliant. And okay, the thing is this very important within the workspace. When we talk about inclusivity, it goes beyond um, moral imperative, right? It's more like, how do I say this? It's more like it's a strategic advantage to, like, not just the individual but the company as a whole. It's very important. Diversity is key in your workplace, and I will say this. When you're working with my experience working with different teams, different cultures, what has fostered innovation, I would say, is the diversity of thoughts. You're getting different perspectives into solutions, different perspectives into experiences, different backgrounds, and all this coming together, it fosters this unique creativity, imagination, and innovation. And so all this built together, it helps when you, as a company, you are hit with a complex issues. When you have that diverse set of people, it's very easy to foster solution, to create solution. That's it. And another thing I would like to say, another hypothesis with you having that diversity within the workplace, aside from the diversity of thoughts, innovation, and all, it helps, it fosters better decision making. Again, because of the wide range of people, of thoughts, you are well rounded. And this is speaking from experience. You are well rounded. You're having, for example, this, and you don't know how to go about it. You're having A, B, and C chiming in brilliant ideas, and all together we form a one solution that not only drives that business to much more impact, but you, as a whole, you are affecting your customers, your client positively. The third important would be, when working with products, services, you have to remember that we are going to be working with a diverse set of humans, different cultures from different backgrounds. So you want your product, you want your workforce, right, to reflect that principle, all right, so that your customer base is affected positively. So if you're lacking diversity within your workplace, it's going to reflect in your products, and it's going to reflect in your company as a whole. And how can you, as an individual, or you as a company, how can you foster such an environment? It's one thing to say, oh, let's have a diversity within our workplace, and you don't have the right system or process in place to keep such talent. So the one thing I would say is you'd want an environment where uh, diversity is welcomed. There's respect, there's value, and there's inclusion. Very important. You'd want to encourage that open dialogue. You'd want to encourage active listening, and very important, feedback amongst the team members. And the last but not the least is training. Very important. Have good training mechanisms in place, and make sure that those trainings are carried out by your team, and then you have follow-up exams and practices in place. So yeah, from my experience, I would say in summary, that is something that would help moving forward. I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much. Please confirm if you can see hear me again, please. I need to be sure. Am I still audible? Are we good? Am I still audible? Can anyone still hear me? Favor, comfort. Uh, Okay, okay, good, awesome, awesome. So now, I was when Comfort mentioned something in regards to the economic value of inclusive inclusion. Yeah, and this year the campaign theme for the IWD is inspire inclusion. I was doing some research, and it baffles us. Some persons do not really think into this direction because having women to get some basic skill. Not even like basic, to get some of this skill. It adds to the economic wealth of the nation. This will also add to the GDP. So you imagine women have their own earning power. The guys also have their own earning power. It's a force already. So both individuals they are contributing to the wealth of the nation. I think everyone needs to with open hands grab this opportunity of inclusion. Very, 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 very key. So Favor, do you want to throw more light on that? Then we move to something else. Do you want to throw light on inclusion
Okay.
within the workspace?
I believe my sister has answered everything. She has actually hit the nail on the head. But the only thing I'm going to add is that working in an environment with diverse race, it's from what I've experienced, it actually creates this work-life balance. Now, when I say work-life balance, you step into the office and you're excited because you're, coming in contact with different races, different culture. So aside your work, you are also learning. You're learning about different cultures. You're learning how they talk, how they speak, and you're basically learning everything that you need to learn aside your work, right? So it's a way of creating that fun part of your job and also creating that culture work life balance. So that's the only thing I'm going to add. Yeah. I think there's a lag.
All right, makes sense. So what I just pointed out from your end is work-life balance. Yeah. So everyone being able to enjoy what they do. Wow, it's lagging. Oh no. Oh no. Am I good now? Am I back? Good.
I think there's still a lag, but it's all right.
It's okay. I think we can proceed.
Yeah, hello, comfort. Can you hear me now? And
Yes,
favor.
please.
Okay.
You're good.
Wow.
So I think a moment for before he joins back.
I think we just have to give it some time and he should be back.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Thanks, everyone. We're just having like few network issues, and Elijah will be joining us very soon. So please be patient with us. Thank you.
Yeah, am I back now? So sorry. Can anyone hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Wow. Sorry about that. Honestly, I think we just have to just get accustomed to network, or let's say tech. So yeah, so I'm sorry about that. So we'll just quickly dive into. So like I was mentioning, I was talking about the work-life balance stuff. Yeah. So when there's inclusion, so everyone gets to understand themselves. Yeah, and you get to enjoy the work you're doing. You get so, and I believe over the years you both have worked on the job, right? I know that even it's not. At some point when I get to feel bad about where I am. At some point, I just want to just feel bad about where we are. I know that that's also in some cases with you guys. It's what we call the imposter syndrome. You get, and I believe every professional has experienced imposter syndrome in one way or the other. Do you get? So I don't know. Would you love to? Like, let me start with Favor. Favor, I think you've experienced imposter syndrome, but if you've not experienced, you probably might want to debunk that. So, how do you deal with self doubt, especially in a very competitive field like the data science space? Yeah. So, how do you deal with imposter syndrome? What's it like for you?
Okay, so I don't have data to back this up, but I believe that most people at some point in their career must have, faced imposter syndrome. I have. I'm just trying to remember. Just give a more specific example. Okay, so that was during the process of my, transitioning from software engineering into the AI field, right? So that time I was, like I said, I was self-learning. I was, going through the curriculum, the courses on my own, struggling, trying to, know what this is. And you come on LinkedIn and you're seeing posts everywhere. And the first thing you're thinking, I'm probably staying on the first page and someone is talking about something entirely. And you're like, am I ever going to become competent enough? That's something that comes to my mind. Am I ever going to be competent enough? So it's more like as if I was, running a snail race. It was as if a lot of people were running and I was just, walking slowly because so many things were happening. And I realized that at some point I was running above myself. So instead of me to stick to the structured plan I had, I was focusing on, what I was seeing on LinkedIn, what my colleagues were saying, what I was seeing online. I was trying to read this, read that, read this, read that. And at the end of the day, I realized that at that moment, I didn't need it. I didn't need it, right? So it was a self-realization for me. I came to realize that this journey is a step, it's a process, it's a step, and I cannot run above myself, right? I had to call myself to order, stick to the plan I had already created. I had to turn a blind eye. Yes, I read the information online, I digest it, know about it just for knowledge sharing. But I tried as much as possible not to let that be the decision of my own career journey, right? So I stick to my structured plan, and I walked it through, I followed it through. And just like that, with the hands-on training I was doing with the project, before you know, everything started coming naturally. I started learning what I needed to learn and stuff like that. So for imposter syndrome, you will get to that point where you start doubting yourself even when you are competent enough, right? Now no one can tell you you have to make the decision on your own, right? No one had to come to preach to me that, oh no, you have to stop doubting yourself. I had to come to the realization that I needed to, I was competent enough and I needed to stop doubting myself and stick to exactly what I needed for my journey, right? So that's it. Yeah.
Oh, all right, makes sense, makes sense. Yep. So I was just thinking, So, regards to imposter syndrome, I saw a post one time,
Okay.
on was it on LinkedIn, on Twitter. So, with regards to imposter syndrome, sometimes this imposter syndrome tries to open our eyes anyway, because you
Mm,
might really be bad at what you are doing, right?
mm.
So he tried to just tell you that, yeah, you're really bad. So try to check
Yeah.
up on yourself, try to upskill yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would love Comfort to probably throw more light on our own experience with regards to imposter syndrome, and how the measures she took, in curtailing it, or let's say overcoming that phase of our career. I Yeah, it might be a phase, but I don't feel it might always keep coming up anyways. And like what Favor said, just turn a blind eye, have a plan. You have a plan already in your head. Then what you just need to do is just to stick to that plan. All right. So Comfort, let's hear your own side of the story in regards to this Mr. Imposter syndrome.
So you know what? Let's do this. Imposter syndrome is normal. The best of the best, they go through it. Like my sister just talked about. She's the best at what she does. She's very brilliant. But she went through that phase and she will still go through it. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It doesn't mean you're weak. The best of the best will always go through. In fact, to an extent, if you're going through that, it just goes to show that you because per a research that was done, I think it said it's mostly intelligent folks, like brilliant folks that go through that imposter syndrome, that sense of not being good enough. And whereas they fail to do the one thing needful, of which I'm going to talk about, like how to copy it, is just to take a step back and think about their achievements, like their accolades. This is part of what I do. All right, it's very important. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't mean you're dull or you're weird. No, and you just need. It just shows that maybe you're doing a lot. You understand? You just need to take a step back, acknowledge that okay, this is a self-doubt, this is imposter syndrome. It's part of human experience, especially in competitive. And if you as an individual, if you're very competitive or you're very smart or you're ambitious and you just want to make something good for yourself. Now, what is key is how you navigate that part. And what you want to do is you want to challenge those thoughts. Yes. And I'm having those thoughts like, ooh, you're not good enough. Ooh, you what I just do, I replace those thoughts with my accolades, with something positive. My past achievements, my current achievements, I put them before me. I remind myself of what I have done. Like you've been a graduate, the work you've done, the projects you've been part of, just little things. I remind myself of the accolades, and that is what I use to challenge those thoughts. All right, and I try to be compassionate to myself. Remind myself that you know what, it's not just about me. The best of the best goes through it. That's the second one. Because if you don't challenge those thoughts, I'm being honest, it will lead to depression.
Mm.
You'll be depressed. So you don't want to be quiet. The ignore I was talking about, that ignore, so that to throw more light with what she said, the ignore is not her just sitting down just ignoring it. What she did apparently, she challenged, she replaced those negative thoughts with her accolades, with her hard work. That's what she did. That's what she meant by replacing them. And the other thing that I have done is very is aside from setting realistic goals, which was what Favor talked about. There's some use cases where I'm trying to do something and I know deep down that okay, okay. So take a step back, and set realistic goals, breaking down my milestones, breaking down larger projects, and just making sure my goals per time they are measurable and I am accountable to them. That's what I do. The fourth would be there are some use cases where I just need to talk to someone. Like I can call Favor, or I could call anyone, and we have that communication, like that seeking support, and we have this open dialogue. So these are some of the things, and these are some of the strategies I do in curbing, when that imposter syndrome is coming in. That's it.
All right, awesome, very fantastic and punchy solution. Actually, I've actually just so actually me I'm jotting down anyway. So I believe some other persons are watching this should be jotting down. Me, I can't miss out on this free bonanza bonanza nugget. Anyway, so what you mentioned, imposter syndrome does not mean you are weak, right? It actually does not mean you are weak. So what you just need to do is sit back, think about the achievements you've had in the past. Yeah, sit back, think about your achievements. You've actually done a lot of good stuff. So it means that you are trying to go into a new territories, something that is very, very novel, and it's always great to be like that. And we believe that you would also challenge yourself to breaking whatever barrier. You've done it in the past, so you can also do it again. Yeah, and that's what we should always keep, having at the back of our mind. That's very, very top notch mentality. I really love that. Yeah. And also, lastly, set realistic goals. I know some of us are, some of us want to become like, some of us have crazy, 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 crazy ideas anyway. But it's actually very fine. It's actually very fine. But you need to know what you have to just do what your power can reach, anyways. Because I just feel it's just the human mind. Do you get? And that's what would always kick us into some certain level of saying that we are not good enough for ourselves. When we try to then when we cannot then meet up to this unrealistic goals we've set up, for ourselves. But yeah, that's a very, very fantastic response. Favor and comfort. So I'll just dive into the other aspect. So we'll be talking about mentorship. So I believe that with all these years of experience and all, I believe at least mentorship would have played a role, in shaping your journey into tech. But I would love to hear from you. Would you want to just run us through how mentorship helped you? Yeah, did you have mentors or role models who shaped you into this career path, right? And how do you approach mentoring others to as well? But I know that Favor, I've seen that on Favor's platform and also on your platform that you also mentor some ladies, especially with some genders, especially with the female aspect. Yeah, having to get them into tech. So run us through mentorship. Who were your mentors, or how did mentorship play a part, and how do you approach mentoring individuals, especially the female folks that are looking to get started into tech just like you? Comfort, over to you first. Then from comfort, then we'll go to favor. We love to take it first, or would favor go first?
I mean, my sister. She's a preacher. So anytime she speaks, her word comes with force and action. So
Okay,
I'm the calm one, right? So let me speak. Then she would. Okay, so
but
yes, I have.
that's not true, favor. That's actually not true. No, that's actually
Yeah.
not true. But okay, I think favor start. Favor
Okay,
start. Then we'll
so
move on to comfort.
yeah, so yes, I had mentorship. I had mentors. I mean to say, I had mentors throughout my journey, right? So my first mentor was my sister, right? That was during my undergrad. She was my first mentor. I was in school learning, so she was the one I run off to ask questions. So that actually helped me skip some processes, some delays. You understand? Because life is all about process. Your journey is processes, right? So having a mentor actually helps you. A mentor is more like a bridge that that acts as how would I put it? Acts as what's the word, like a
Guy.
gap, right? So there's a gap, and your mentor is like a bridge to that gap, right? So my sister was my mentor at that point. Then when I got into university, my mentor was my professor, right? Then so at every stage of my life, I had mentors, right? So, and one thing that we also need to know is that mentors are different from trainers, mentors are different from coaches, right? I need to put this out because we tend to misunderstand this. Coaches or trainers are people that train you, right? They probably give you a structured curriculum, give you course content, and take you through this process, teach you, have one-on-one with you. That's the work of a trainer or a coach. A mentor is someone that guides you, right? So a mentor is someone who is a professional, an expert in that field, who is busy, does not have time to come and uh, teach you what you need to know. A mentor is there to guide you, to give you experts, to give you industrial experience, to share their expert knowledge, to tell you that no, these are the tools you should learn, these are what you need to do, this is how to structure your savings. So they are more of a guide in your career journey. And I've had mentors all through my journey, not just one. I've had a couple, because at every stage in your journey, your mentor tends to change. Yeah, your mentors tend to change at every stage in your journey. So it depends on where you are at your journey, but there's always that occurrence of methods changing. So I think that answers the question. Or am I missing something?
Yeah, you've answered the first part of the question. So moving on to the next, with regards to how do you approach mentoring individuals, especially the female folks that are looking to get started in tech just like you. How do you approach
Okay, so
that?
I'm just going to give a summary, right? So first of all, when I'm approaching my mentorship program, my mentee, I have to know them first of all. You understand? Because and that's the most important thing, right? I need to know my mentees and exactly what they want, right? Because there are cases where people come to you, I want to become a data scientist, I want to become a data analyst. And when you have a conversation with them, you realize that that is not actually their strong point. They would actually be, much more better in some other aspects, some other career paths than, what they are thinking they are actually interested in. And, having this conversation with them, having this one-on-one dialogue, we're able to, break that wall and, have this deep intimate conversation. And most of the times you realize that, oh, okay, it's because everyone is doing it, the trend, because of the salary, it's not really my thing. I just want to do it. So that's usually the first stage for me, right? Getting to know them and knowing exactly their passion and their drive, right? Then I usually schedule a one-on-one with my mentees once every week, right? So we have this one-on-one conversation where we have to go through the stage they are. Then I give my advice. So if it's a project they're working on, or just giving them valuable advice that you probably would not see anywhere, because this is more of a one-on-one. You're sharing your expertise, you're sharing your knowledge. And there are cases where I have to bring other industry experts during our one-on-one, just so they feel that get not they're not just getting my knowledge, but they're also getting some other experts. So I do that once in a while. So it's always a fun one, right? So it's always a fun one because at the end of the day, I usually give them projects, to do. And when they come back with these projects, we're going through the codes together, right? We're doing more of a pair programming together, going through the code, highlighting what they need to know, and just guiding them everything, just guiding them through their journey, what they need to learn, and all of that. So that's just the basic summary on how I go about my
Yeah,
mentorship.
it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense because and I really love what you do with your LinkedIn page. I don't know how you do it, to be very honest. Like those posts you put out there every day. Jesus Christ, I don't know. I don't know. That's already a wealth of knowledge on its own. That I think you have a lot of mentees self that you do not even approach you, and that's a very very fantastic one. Yeah, because and you made mention of something, and I always say it anywhere I find myself. You need to be able to learn from the experiences of others. Learning from the experiences of others gives you that automatic 10x growth, because imagine Comfort sharing her years of experience, how she got started in security as a security engineer, and probably I want to even get started as the WS, or let's say within the cybersecurity space. She's going to tell me some certain things that she failed at, yeah, or probably some of the experiences that were not really favorable, yeah, and definitely along the way I am going to make those mistakes. So learning from her already, I've I've jumped that hurdle. We get, so it means that I'm already ahead. So you just come in, you don't even know, nobody's leading you. You're just coming into a new environment. You're definitely going to fumble. Do you get? But now comfort has that experience, favor has that experience. They are then holding you into getting started. And that's what we try to do in 10Alytics, yeah, with the mentorship program. We always have mentorship every Thursday. Yeah, we always have mentorship every Thursday in the program, because you need to learn from people's experiences. You don't need to reinvent the wheel at some point. That's why mentorship is there. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Someone has done a fantastic job building a career as a data analyst. Why don't you just learn from this person? Yeah, and skyrocket and move ahead. Yeah. So let's move on. I know Comfort has a lot to say with regard to mentorship. So We are ready for you. So we are in for you. So over to you, Comfort.
So Favor, she said it all. Honestly, everything she said. That's it. So you see how she gave that practical examples. That's just it encompasses everything that I had to say. So that's it. All I have to do is reach out. The only thing I will just add to that is reach out. Mentees, mentors, how I go started and where I am now would be the mentors I had in the past. I learned from them and I'm still learning a new methods I'm working with now. I'm learning. We have both mentors specifically for technical purposes, others for not just technical purposes, but for career advancement. So it depends on what you want and what you have mapped out for yourself. And if you don't have any clear direction, that is why you have mentors. Good mentors that would help you in your journey, and making meaningful impacts in the lives of people, because very important. If your life is shaped in terms of your career, you know where you're going to, then you can be able to shape other people's lives. Very important. And yeah, so that's all I would say. And the last thing I would like to add to that is reach out. Reach out if you're seeking mentors. You have Favor there. Favor, she's doing a brilliant work with her platform. Reach out to her. Like we have the chat me up. Reach out to her and be very direct, and reach out to me as well if you want to, depending on your career path. All right, you can reach out to either of us and be very clear and direct. If you really don't know, if you're not sure what you want to do, just state it that these are my interests and I need guidance in this, and this. Or be honest, I really don't know how to go about this. Help me. So don't be ambiguous. Like be clear and direct. Because these are people's time. Very important. I've seen use cases where someone does send a DM and they say hi, hello. I'm like, okay, what next? You don't want to do that. All right. Exactly. Very important, because there's actors, don't forget, with professional actors. We're reaching out to peeps, that you would like them to mentor you. Learn how to communicate. Hello, my name is this, and I would like to just have something there. This reflects back on you. When we read this, it shows that okay, you're serious. It reflects on you, and it shows how serious you want to make sure that your career or your life is mapped out. Because that's something, Elijah, I have noticed when it comes to communication ethics. Yeah, so people lack that, and people that are not really patient, they just ignore you. Not because you're a bad person, but you don't really know how to communicate. So keep that in mind moving forward. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Fantastic. I think that communication is very, very key, because a lot of persons, just barge into your DM, hi, hello. Then I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do after that? So do I? That was I said you hi. So sometimes I might just even engage the person. The person tells me hi. I say hi too. There's no problem. Let's keep on. Let's speed up. You say hello. I'll say there's no issue. So let's. Some persons might not even be patient. Yeah, to just keep on doing that with you. But I've seen that. I've seen a lot of that happen, and I'm like, you say hello, and me, I'll type. I'll just quickly just type it for you. Don't worry, I have your time. Hello. I'll not even ask you what you want. You just come into my DM. Hello, good morning. I'll just tell you hello, good morning too as well, and I'm out. So if you are ready to have a discourse, then you probably then continue. But I think etiquette, professional etiquette is very, very key, right? Especially within the workspace. Yeah. So and I will let's move back into the concept of inspiring inclusion, right? Like I mentioned at the beginning, we have over 75% of tech roles occupied by the male folks. Yeah, and the idea of the inspiring inclusion is to get as much people. Let's inspire some of these women to get started in tech, right? So what do you feel? With regards to males as allies. Yeah. So how can men within the tech industry be better allies in promoting gender equality and inclusivity? Come, how can men become better allies? Yeah, with regards to promoting gender equality and gender inclusion. I don't know. Do you want to start first, Comfort or Favor? Which one?
No, my sis, I think she has more to say on that. She should
Favor is just
what to say.
I
Favor. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Comfort just
no.
over.
Okay, I'm just gonna say one or two things. Very important. As a man in the tech space, the thing is, you'd want to listen and learn. So take time to listen to the experiences and to the perspectives of women in the tech industry, and educate yourselves on their experiences, the challenges they are currently facing. You want to educate yourself, so that you can help come in and break those barriers. Because you can't really break those barriers in the first place if you don't have an understanding of what's going on. You can't be ignorant. Because with ignorance, then you can't foster solutions. You can't help when you're ignorant. So you want to listen, ask questions, learn, educate yourself. So if you want to seek out materials online, resources internally in the workplace, or have women that you could have those communication with. That's one. The other thing I would like to say is, when you, as a male in the tech field, you sponsor your time to mentorship and sponsorship. Mentor and support women, in leadership, in the workspace, and volunteer to offer your time, to offer your time in guiding those women to become better and in advancing and taking charge in different roles. So use your network if possible, connect them with some other key network or key starters that would help them in attaining their goals. So that would be my 2 cents. Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic. I love that. Straight to the Jacula. How would they call it? Yeah, men, males, wherever, you know, you can do this with regards to mentorship and sponsorship. Yeah, as much as possible. First, like I love the first angle you came in. Educate. You need to educate yourself. You can't be ignorant of what you are trying to do. You want to become allies. You don't even know the female problem. Do you get? So you need to be able to educate yourself. I think that's a very. I love that. I actually wrote it down. I think that might be the first thing I might post tomorrow on LinkedIn. Guys, we need to educate ourselves. We need to know what this female wants. Yeah, how can we then bring them into the tech space? Yeah, and that I believe that's the perfect one to becoming an ally within helping balance of that gender inequality and also promoting inclusion. Favor, do you want to drop throw in any light on that? Do you want to throw more light on that, or you want
You
to
said it
anyone?
all. She said it all. Yeah, yeah.
All right, yeah, that's totally fine. There's no problem. There's no problem. I think the next question I have to start from you, Favor, anyways. So I think now so that comfort will not say it all. Don't worry. All right. So now, I think before we wrap up the session, a lot of persons are listening to us via LinkedIn and also via the YouTube platform. And also, there's something I would also do. Some of the bits of the answers from this session, we always crop them out and also push them on our across our social media platform till the end of the campaign. Yeah. So and people would always get to ask their questions, but I need us to say something on how what makes you stand out as a woman within the tech space. Some persons would say you need to focus on working on projects. Some persons say you need to get a degree because and the funny thing is not really like funny. I think yeah, not really like funny anyways. So before you can get started in tech, some people are always of the opinion that you need to be able to you must have graduated from the computer science background. You probably have worked as a techie for years and all those many, will I say, misconceptions, or let's say the idea people have about getting started in tech. So what made you stand out, or what makes you stand out as a tech professional? Was it that because you worked on projects, or was it because you graduated from computer science background and all those stuff? So what make you stand out as a tech professional actually? And Favor, over to you. Then we move on to comfort.
Okay. Okay, so this question is relative, I would say. Reason being that I believe there are different perspectives to this. So what makes you stand out? Okay, so when we're talking about the tech space, right? Let me not talk about all that career path, because definitely if you want to become a medical doctor, you need to go to school. You can't study that online, right? But the good thing with the tech space is that To a certain point, you can actually learn these courses on your own, more of a self-learning thing, right? Yeah. So before, if you're thinking of transitioning, that tech space has given individuals the opportunity to to self-learn and start off their career. So I'll just make this fast. So what makes you stand out as a professional? If you have, I will say this, if you have the opportunity to go to school, it's fine. Please go and get the degree, right? So let me use myself for example. Yeah, I went to school. I did my undergrad in computer science. I started off my career as a software developer. Then while in school, definitely there were courses where I had to take that was, in AI, machine learning. Yeah, we have courses there, artificial intelligence. So that had already prepared me to a certain point to, it has already given me that foundational knowledge to understanding what machine learning, the concepts were, right? So while I was self-learning, I'm using myself as an example, right? So while self-learning, I already had the programming skills, so that was not a problem. All my concern was, getting that theoretical understanding, how machine learning works, the math behind it, algebra, how does algebra, what does algebra, what does calculus, what does it have to do with machine learning? Like, what is the functionality? So I had to, pick up my book and I'm going through the process. I'm learning. Okay, yes, I was able to grab that. I learned and all of that. I started off my career. I was doing well. I was doing perfectly well, but deep down I just felt there was more to the theoretical concepts that I needed to learn, right? And that was the reason why I had to go for my masters to actually gain the main reason was to gain that theoretical understanding, and that was personal for me, right? It's something you can do on your own. You don't really need to go to school, but to me personally, I just wanted more of that theoretical concept. That was the reason why I had to go for my master. So I would say, if you have the opportunity to go to school, fine, please go. But if you don't, and maybe based on maybe personal constraint, financial constraint, whatsoever, the tech space has given individuals the opportunity to learn, like I said. But however, you should also note that not all tech career, because definitely there are some tech career you need to go to school to learn. You need to go to school to learn, why there are others that you can learn on your own. And example of such career paths, data analytics, right? It's something you can you know learn, you can self-learn and all of that, but not all tech career you will say you want to sit down and start taking Coursera courses or Udemy. No. But if I'm talking in regards to data analytics, yes, you can self-learn. So what makes you stand out? I'm talking too much, but like I always say, you can't you can't just keep reading and reading and reading without doing projects, right? Projects are the best way to learn, right? So the more you take on projects, the faster you learn, the faster you grab this concept. So I would always recommend, every day, anytime, always take up projects. Now when I say taking up projects, I don't mean following step by step tutorial. I don't mean you going on YouTube or Coursera and the instructor tells you click this, you're clicking and you're going through that step by step training or that step by step tutorial, and you've been able to create a project following that step by step, and you're putting it in your portfolio, your GitHub, and you're saying, oh, I'm creating a project. No, a project is something you do on your own. You've learned the skills, you've learned everything you need to learn. Now you're closing your book, you're closing that YouTube channel, and you're doing this project on your own. That is the way to learn. So please, if you're currently doing project and the project is based on step by step tutorials, and you're going through the walkthrough and you're dumping that into your portfolio. No, that is not project. I'm sorry to say. So, like I said, project is, you're closing everything, your books, YouTube, and you're doing this project. It's more of a personal thing, right? So, to stand out, please do projects. Listen to industry experts. Put yourself out there, right? The best way to learn is, speaking up and putting yourself out there. So when you put yourself, you're sharing your knowledge, you're sharing your ideas, you're also getting responses from others, and they are sharing their own info and knowledge as well. And through that, you're learning, right? So yeah, so that's what I would say.
Fantastic. I love every facet of what you just mentioned. I think you're trying to wrap up with build in public, and that's very very unique. Yeah, and also project based. You need to, and that's one of the key things we always encourage students within our community. Yeah, you just need it's the space, especially the data space. You need to show proof of what you've been able to do. No recruiter is going to just come and rarely see those kind of opportunities. Yeah. So now the idea of recruiters is you have an idea of what you're trying to do. You've done this already in the past. There's an evidence of what you've done in the past. So come show us. And that's where project comes into the picture. Yeah. And you need to always work on projects. I think that's a very fantastic one. Project is very, very key, as well as building in public. Perfect. Do you want to drop in your 2 cents into that with regards to
No, she's covered it all. Seriously speaking, so that's it. Yeah, and I love how she started with. There's really no one size that fits all. And that was how I love the part that she broke it down so that it makes sense, so that you don't think you have to go. So that's just brilliant. The only one thing I would like to add again is what she said. There's no one size that fits all right, so there are different use case scenarios. Now the only thing I would say is, let's assume you are already in the workforce, because her point of view also came from those that are trying to get into the workforce. So let's assume you are already in the workforce. So in order for you to stand out, all right, again, I won't say go and get your BSc and everything. She has covered it up, so you should know what to do. You should know about that. But if you're already in the workforce, I would say continuous learning, very important. You want to keep learning. You want to be able to adapt to new technologies. Keep yourself up to date. Be updated on the latest pardon me, the trends, best practices. You don't want to be in a board meeting or you're having key meetings with stakeholders and they are saying this happened. You're like, oh wow, I didn't know. You're just going to lose trust. You don't want to lose trust in the eyes of your customers, your clients. You don't want to do that. And another thing is your technical skills. Yes, up to date. Keep learning, and you've been able to. These are some of the things. Again, there are no one size that fits all. But if you're already in the space, think about this. What I'm talking about. All right. You want to also picture your collaboration skills and communication skills, because to stand out within the workspace and also to make impact, you want to have that soft skills, being able to communicate and being able to collaborate across teams, both internally and external. All right, in that way, you stand out. Yes, being able to communicate and collaborate, and like what she said, the project experience. Yes, you want to get hands on working on projects. With that, you see the need for areas you need to upscale, areas you need to focus, areas you need to, like, what, I don't think I have to focus on that. So those are some of the little key points I would just like to add to what Favor talked about. So that's it. I'm done.
I think there's a lag.
Yeah, there's a lag. We can't hear you.
Okay, do you want to say anything else while he's trying to sort that out?
Okay, yeah, before he gets back. All right. So, okay, before he gets back, would you say, like, okay, I think he's back. Go ahead, Elijah.
Honestly, so I don't know what one of those things we can't actually fight it. Honestly, I've tried. I'm actually on three networks at the moment. So I'm actually on three networks at the moment, trying to change, and change. But I really love what you mentioned at the end because I actually listened. I was hearing what you said. So with regards to communication and collaboration, very key. And and the funny thing, anyway, especially within the workspace, you should be able to communicate because you might be doing a lot of good stuff, but you can't even tell your boss what you are doing, man. Nobody cares, bro. So nobody cares. Nobody. So that's on you. Individuals are able to communicate what they've been able to do within the workspace. Immediately they get promoted. They get improve their performance in when they tend to evaluate their performances for every quarter. They get all those specs, and you are just there. You don't want to. You are the shy type. You can't talk and all. Well, that's fine for you. And you should be able to collaborate. Yeah, you should be able to collaborate, not just even within your team member and outside the department. Collaborate with data scientists, collaborate with data analysts. Just everyone within the organization, and that's how you can stand out as as a data professional. I really love what also Favor mentioned, building in public, especially for newbies that are getting started in tech. Recruiters need to, because your online space sells you out already. So I'm going to Favors platform, I'm going to Comfort platform, I'm trying to recruit for a position, and I just go straight to Comfort platform, and I'm seeing, oh wow, public speaker. She has been able to speak on this platform, this and that. Immediately, there's no doubt again. I know that okay, this is the right person for whatever I'm trying to do. Same thing with Favor. All those advices she gives out to newbies in data as a data analyst or as a data scientist, and some of the projects she has been able to work on. You get to see that on our platform. Yeah, that's already a sellout already. So you're building in public. People can resonate with what you're doing. I just saw someone now, John Suleiman, that posted here and said, "How much people post on LinkedIn?" Do you know how many thousands and one people are also seeing people's posts? You get, so all those things count. All of all those things count in terms of building in public. I think I wanted to wrap up with the last question. I know that everyone has said um, fantastic stuff, but let's just give some word of advice, especially to women who are considering a career in tech. Yeah, Comfort, I just wanted to share your 2 cents before we wrap up the session. What is your advice, like into, let's say, in less than 30 seconds? What advice will you give to women who are considering getting started in tech?
All right. Very easy. Believe in yourself. I know that word is more like a cliche now, believe in yourself. But I'm serious. Like, have confidence in your abilities. We all started from somewhere. All right. Favor started from somewhere. I started small. She started small, and we're here. And we're still moving. All right. So believe in the little ability that you have. Believe in it and explore your options. All right. Explore your interests and jump right in. Explore different areas, seek advice, all right, with respect to different areas in tech, anything you want to do, and jump right in. In tech, we have the legal space within tech, we have compliance. So you don't have to be a programmer, you don't have to write code, you don't have to script. Although it's very good if you can script, though, you have to. But there are different areas, there are TPMs, so you don't need to pull yourself backwards because I don't know how to write code. And this is what I hear frequently from prospective candidates. Oh, I don't know how to code. Oh, I don't know how to script. Come on, there are so many careers, like opportunities within the tech field that don't require you to code or to script. All right, but if you reach out to either myself or Favor, we can school you on that. But believe in yourself, have abilities in the little that you have, explore the different options you have around you, and seek mentorship. See, listen, I can talk about that from today to tomorrow. Seek mentorship. Reach out to people. reach out to people like either myself or Favor. Reach out and seek help. We can help you. We'll hold you by the hands. Teach you what you need to know in order for you to achieve your goal. Seek mentorship. I'm done. Thank you.
Fantastic. Punchy. I think I was able to catch four, one, two, three. Oh, yeah, four. Four. Or one, seek advice, be confident in your abilities, explore options, explore the options that you can explore, and also seek mentorship. I think you emphasize on mentorship a whole lot. I think we've agreed on this space now that mentorship gives you the opportunity to speed up your growth. Yeah, jump as much hurdles as possible. Yeah. So over to you, Favor. What are your parting words? Advice to women who want to get started in tech.
Okay, I have a story to for this, but I'm not going to share because of time. But the first thing I will tell you is don't be scared. Don't be scared. Now, there's no career that is specially designed for a man, and it's career that is specially designed for a woman. No, you can do anything you want to do, and also note that you don't need to be you don't need to become an expert before you start applying for jobs. The reason why I said you shouldn't be scared is you might be reading, you're taking courses, you're taking training and all of that, you're doing projects, right? And you might feel you're not doing something, but I tell you, it will shock you that when you find yourself when you find yourself in that environment, in that workspace, right, and it's time for you to handle a particular project, it will shock you that you actually know more than you thought you did. So don't be scared. There's no career specially designed for a man and a career specially designed for a woman. And don't feel that you need to become an expert before you start giving, before you start applying for jobs, before you start sharing to the public, right? Yeah.
Fantastic. I love that. I love that. I think where you started from was don't be scared. And a lot of persons, like you mentioned, a lot of people they have a good understanding of a lot of stuff, but having to implement those things. And the funny thing, majority of these organizations, yeah, they'll probably state all those big English on their job description, and at the end of the day, you get those jobs, and you might never even end up doing all those things that the HR states on the job description. Yeah, and it's very very funny. Yeah, but what you have, you're confident about what you know, the little you can. If it is Excel, you are very very good at. Go there and wow the interviewer. If it is Power BI, you are very fantastic at. Go there, wow the interviewer. Tableau, wherever. Yeah, and that brings us actually to the end of the session. But I need to just reiterate a couple of things. Mentorship is very very key, and with analytics, we pride ourselves in that. Every Thursday, we offer mentorship to every student within the community. If you are part of the community, you get mentored either by the co-founders or by individuals like Comfort and Favor. We always do these sessions every Thursday within the community, right? And very very easy. You don't need to even know how to code, yeah, before you can get started in tech, especially within the data ecosystem. You can get started as a data analyst without coding. You can get started as an HR analyst, as a financial analyst, scrum master, cybersecurity, data. I think scrum masters, rather cybersecurity, you need some level of coding. So as well, same thing with data engineering. But if you don't want to do anything in regards to coding, you can start as a data analyst, right? You can do financial analytics, you can do HR analytics, you can also do business analysis. And all these training program are what we offer in analytics. And if you want to get started, you can reach out to us. Use the message, the button on our page. Reach out to us. You want to reach out to Comfort, try to connect with her right away. And you want to reach out to Favor, ensure to reach out to Favor. Favor is well open to accepting you to be part of our network. Same with Comfort too as well. They are friendly individuals. With that, I trust that we'd have lovely conversations moving on. And yeah, I'll definitely catch up with you guys again, because I know that we have a lot of activities in front of us with regards to analytics, yeah, and all the facilitators or let's say speakers have been able to engage since last year down to now will definitely engage you guys physically. I'm very very sure of that, right? And I would want to see you guys physically too as well. We need to impact a lot of our guys within the black community. It's a lot. Yeah, a lot of persons need to learn and hear of all these things you've shared, and it's actually a no-brainer that every of what you said, yeah, we would have to break them down in bits and pieces and post them on our social media platforms. Some of the answers were fantastic, right? So I think Jay Football mentioned, how do you want to qualify as a man? How do you qualify for the scholarship? Reach out to us with the direct message. Click on message now. You see the message when you go to our platform, the community page. Click on it. You get to reach out to us on LinkedIn. If you want to speak to Comfort, reach out to her via LinkedIn too as well. She's ready to get you started in tech too. If you want to get a mentorship advice from my end, she would be ready to do that for you. Same with Favor too as well. I think we've come to the end of today's session. We spent well over 1 hour. I actually mentioned that we are going to spend 15 minutes. So sorry. It appears that the conversation was very very interesting. And like I mentioned to Comfort yesterday, so if the conversation is very very interesting, to be very honest, we can talk as long as 2 hours. Yeah, but it was I'm happy doing this for you guys. Comfort and Favor, two sisters that are making a lot of waves within the tech ecosystem. Thank you very much for coming, Comfort. Thank you very much for coming, Favor. And yeah, we'll catch up later on. Yes, we'll catch up later on. I think I'll just have to end up with that. Thank you very much. Cheers and good night, everybody. Bye.